A Cape Town author is doing her bit to help children during this pandemic. Siphokazi Madlingozi is the author of Yola and the Trusted Crown, a book that is meant to assist children cope with the challenges and changes that come with the virus. It speaks to their adherence to COVID-19 regulations, as well as what to do when faced with challenges both in and out of the classroom. Joining us now is Siphokazi Madlingozi. Siphokazi, thanks a lot for your time. I understand your background is in marketing. How did you become an author?
So my background is in marketing, but I've always had a dream of writing children's books. And during the pandemic, actually, I had a little bit of extra time on my hands. And so I wrote my first book, which was called My Name is Sandy, in March last year. And this Yola and the Trusted Crown is now my second children's book.
What inspired this second book?
The book was actually commissioned by Coronation Fund managers, and they wanted to come up with an idea of how to help children cope with the pandemic. And so I actually spoke to a couple of children and I asked them, how do they feel about the coronavirus? And what stood out mostly is really their frustration as to how their lives have changed, not being able to go to school, see their friends, etc., and just the amount of uncertainty. So I wanted to give them the safety tips, but more importantly, to teach them how to cope. So in the book, we have a king, and the king doesn't always know what to do when things go wrong. And he asks himself two questions once he puts on his trusted crown. And the two questions are, what can I do and who can help me? That way they can figure out how to, what's in their control and who is there to help them. And they can always remember that they're never alone.
This book, Yola and the Trusted Crown, and your other book, help children deal with challenges that may face. Is that something you thought was lacking in the books that were out there, helping children deal with difficult situations and emotions?
Yes, I think because I also have a background in psychology, a jack of many trades, I found that, there's different skills that children need to learn quite early on. My first book deals with listening to your inner voice and trusting yourself, because I felt that that's a skill that children need to learn quite early. In this case, the book is really about resilience and understanding what is in your control and what you can do when things can go wrong. So I thought, yes, it's important to make it about the foundation phase and teaching kids how to read, but also to have a really strong message that they can take out and that they can keep with them for many years to come.
Literacy is still a very big problem in South Africa, and there are plenty of children who are unable to read for understanding. Very quickly, any idea how we could tackle that?
So interestingly, the book was launched on World Literacy Day, and we spent the day at Hillwood Primary School out in Lavender Hill. And what was really striking for me is seeing the teachers in action and really making reading fun, and how involved the kids were in the book and the story. And this is why, for me, it was so important to not only make the book very simple. I mean, it's really a few lines with a strong message, but also to make it colorful and to bring in my illustrator, Tabiso Drenza, to just really make it colorful for them and make it something that is interesting for them to read.
All right. Well, Siphokazi, Annika and I were looking at the pictures of that school you visited, and the kids got really fancy crowns. We'll send you our address so you can send us those crowns as well, because we kind of feel left out. Siphokazi Madlingozi, the author of Yola and the Trusted Crown, thank you so much for joining us.
I'd love the book.